Hello and welcome back to another episode of MHSNews Gaming. I'm Myles Edgington and this is my co-host, Dog. Today we continue going down the indie game rabbit hole to discover some truly legendary games. Last time we went over some games to just help you relax and enjoy the moment. Today we're going in the opposite direction. These games will seriously test your skill, teach you to be patient and not give up. Those looking for the adrenaline rush, this is the video for you. First up on the list is A Hat in Time. This is a good game to transition from playing some more relaxing and simple games to the more challenging ones. Hat in Time is about a time traveler stranded on another planet due to the loss of her timepieces that power her ship. By exploring the world, you collect your timepieces while making some friends along the way. Each of the game's chapters has its own separate difficulty curves. This gives you ample chance to practice with A Hat in Time's simplistic mechanics to prepare for the more difficult levels. My favorite chapter has to be the Alpine Skyline. This is a great chapter for honing your parkour skills and just relaxing. It's a good break from some of the game's more challenging levels. So if you need a bit of a break after dying in the big parade for the 10th time, there are a lot of levels to simply enjoy. You can open some vaults in Mafia Town, solve a murder mystery on the Owl Express, visit the birdhouse or the windmill, deliver some mail in the Subcon Forest, take a cruise, or grab some grub in the Niazuka Metro. Heck, you can even fight a sentient toilet. If that doesn't cheer you up, I don't know what will. The characters will also help you get through some of the game's more challenging levels. Hat Kid has her very twisted sense of humor. The conductor and DJ Groove's squabbling is bound to bring a smile to your face. And the Snatcher's old business attitude surprisingly creates a very enjoyable experience. Now on to A Hat in Time's more difficult levels. Most of these levels will test your understanding of the game's mechanics. Still, some of these levels will give you a run for your money. Even if Snatcher or Mustache Girl brings you down, don't give up. A Hat in Time's bosses can pose quite the challenge, but be patient. Their attack patterns are pretty simple, making these difficult challenges bearable. So if you keep on trying, you will eventually beat them. Hat in Time's DLC even adds further challenges if needed. If you think the game was too easy, I'd like to see you get all 111 Death Wish stamps. Then we can talk about the game's difficulty. Overall, though, A Hat in Time is the easiest game on this list. Next up on the list is Shantae and the Seven Sirens. Really, any of Shantae's several installments will fulfill some level of difficulty that you might be looking for. Similar to A Hat in Time, there are options for difficulty. You can go to regular mode for generally difficult experience, or classic mode to achieve the difficulty of Shantae's previous installments. While the bosses aren't super difficult, their patterns can be difficult to figure out and avoid, as well as often being very time consuming. Luckily, you have a truckload of different abilities to help deal out damage or prevent taking damage to make things much more bearable. The Scimitar, Flamethrower, and Shock Dance have to be my personal favorites. They help dish out a ton of damage, but I'll warn you, use the many monster cards throughout the game to match your fighting style. Since my big damage approach consumes a lot of magic points, I put on the Coral Siren card to help restore magic over time. This game is not as heavily parkour based as A Hat in Time, so focus on figuring out what combat style fits for you. And to remember that you may have to adapt your strategy depending on the situation, and keep trying to figure out what combination of abilities help you achieve victory. These games teach you pretty well aspects of harder video games. Ahead in Time helps you improve your parkour skills and speed, while Shantae will really help you improve your boss fight skills. Put those together, and the next game will really test whether you understand these mechanics. The final game for today is Hollow Knight, a Metroidvania about exploring a long-forgotten kingdom and solving the mysteries of its decline into plague, madness, and sorrow. This is the hardest game on the list, but I'm not saying this is the hardest game ever. Unlike Ahead in Time, Hollow Knight does not give you a lot of time to master new mechanics. Throws you right in, and it's your job to figure out how to effectively use these mechanics. A lot of Hollow Knight is being thrown against the wall to overcome, and once you conquer it, you're subsequently thrown into another wall. You have healing, but the bosses aren't just gonna let you get away with healing that easily. Like Ahead in Time, learning to read the boss's attack patterns allows for you to know when to strike and heal. Of course, similar to Shantae, you have a large amount of charms and abilities that make these walls much easier to climb. My favorite charm combo has to be combining Shape of Wound, Defender's Crest, and Spore Shroom to create the Super Stinky Slug strategy. This allows me to be able to move while healing and cause a ton of damage. With Hollow Knight's large array of bosses, one strategy won't let you breeze through everything. Along with being able to use these abilities, the game wants you to learn to adapt. I heavily encourage you to change charms for certain fights and don't be stubborn. It ruins the experience and makes the game a lot harder. Although Hollow Knight is not cruel and gives you several spots where you can take a breather from the constant onslaught of plague-driven bugs and parkour. Hollow Knight's many paths allow for you to choose your difficulty. Simply beating the Hollow Knight is a challenge in itself, but only requires you to beat the free dreamers found throughout Hollow Nest. Getting the other endings ups the difficulty immensely, though, with the rest of the endings requiring you to get through White Palace, a nightmare of a parkour challenge, and others require you to beat Hollow Knight's hardest combat challenge, the Pantheon of Hollow Nest. Still, you can simply just explore, but you may run into roadblocks that you need to get better abilities or beat a boss. You can find some truly beautiful places in this desolate kingdom. One last piece of advice is this is a game difficult to play through all at once on the first playthrough. Take breaks when you feel overwhelmed. Trust me, I came back with a plan and was able to overcome overwhelming obstacles. Patience is a virtue in these harder games, and especially in Hollow Knight. But that's going to be it from me today. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode, because these are some of my all-time favorite games. I'll see you next time, and I hope you have a great time discovering new gaming experiences. Bye!